Yo, what's going on, guys? Joey Sugarmuck is back here with another video for you guys. Guys, it's Saturday night, and I'm going to be giving you my game picks for week, what are we at, 11 now, the 2022 NFL season. So let's jump right on into it. Coming up with the first game, we have the 3-7 Bears and the 4-6 Falcons. No international game this weekend. So for this game, the Falcons are coming off. They've had some extra time because they last played last Thursday against the Panthers. Coming off a loss, they just did not play well at all. Mariota had probably his worst game of the season. The Bears have not been doing well either, though. They just lost at home to the Lions. They had the lead for a long time, and it looked like they were going to win, but they kind of sold at the end. With the game being being in Atlanta and the Falcons still actually having a chance to win the division, I do think that they'll be able to get this win. The Bears just can't seem to hold leads. They have some talent, but they're just not a good all-around team. I don't think they're well coached either. So with it being in Atlanta, give me the Falcons winning this game 24-20. Next game, guys, we're getting right on into it. We have the 3-7 Panthers at the 6-3 Ravens. So the Panthers, so they too, of course, are coming off the long week because they played last Thursday against Atlanta and won, so that was good for them. So they've had some time to prepare. However, Ravens, we have also had probably extra time to prepare because we were coming off the bye week. We played the last Monday on the 7th against New Orleans, and then we have the bye week, and now we're here. For some reason, it feels like it's been forever since the Ravens have played. Maybe it's just me. I mean, it hasn't even been 2 weeks yet, but man, it has felt long. So very much looking forward to seeing these Ravens play again, man. I've been eager for a while. Very excited to see these guys go at it again tomorrow. And we're getting healthier. That's what the bye week can do. All signs point that Andrews practiced this week. He should be back. Edwards practiced this week. He should be back. He's probably going to be limited. He was limited in practice all week. And it sounds like he's going to suit up. And he'll probably be limited in reps, I'm sure. So I still think Drake will get most of the carries. Going to be frustrating, of course. But still, I know it's all part of the process. And with hamstring injuries, you really have to take it slow. And you have to ease a man and limit him because hamstring injuries are so easy to re-aggravate. And then besides that, Ravens-wise, we're getting healthier somewhat. The line's healthy. Secondary is pretty healthy. We're still waiting on Marcus Williams to come back. No Jalen Armour-Davis. He's got a hip injury, but Peters, Humphrey, all of them are there. And then, of course, Roquan Smith, who had a great NFL debut. Very much looking forward to seeing him go back out there, and hopefully we can get this win. So, the Ravens, I think strength of schedule-wise, it's pretty easy the rest of the way, but one thing I have learned, I am never going to overlook any opponent or to say, oh, it's going to be an easy win. And the Panthers are a feisty team. I know they're 3-7, but they are feisty. They have given teams some issues. Baker Mayfield is going to start tomorrow because P.J. Walker has a high ankle sprain. So Mayfield returning against Baltimore. We'll see what happens. I still think the Ravens are going to be able to take care of business in this one, though. We're coming off a bye. We might get off to a little. I could see us getting off to a little bit of a rusty start, but I do think we'll settle down. We know we need to stay ahead of the pace. We got to take advantage of these not so good opponents. With it being in Baltimore, give me the Ravens winning this game. Let's go 27-17. Okay, next game, guys. This is going to be an interesting one. We have the 3-6 Browns, quote unquote, at the 6-3 Bills, but it's not that simple. So I'm sure most of you know. So the game actually got moved to Detroit because Buffalo got absolutely slammed with snow. It was a lake effect snow event. And Buffalo got it's crazy. They got some people got 6 feet or something. I don't even know, but it is crazy. The snow was just dumping, and of course there have been several photos taken of the Bills stadium, and you can't even tell it's a stadium. It's all buried under the snow, man. It is crazy. Originally, it was looking like they were going to try and play the game even through the snow, but that ship sailed a few days ago, and now they're going to play in Detroit instead. So while the Bills are technically the home team, they're really not because it's at a neutral location in Detroit. So for this game, the Bills, of course, that crazy loss to the Vikings last week. That was the craziest game. That was the craziest game I had seen since the Bills-Chiefs divisional round last year. That game last week was crazy, man. First of all, Justin Jefferson made one of the greatest catches of all time. I don't care. I'm not going to say this year. I'm going to say all time. That catch that he made, Justin Jefferson, oh my God, that was amazing. And then it looked like the Bills were going to hang on after they stopped the Vikings on 4th down. But no, Josh Allen fumbled, and the Vikings scored a touchdown. Then it went into overtime, and then Allen threw a pick. It was a rare time where Allen really did not come up clutch. But anyways, it happens to the best of them. Browns, meanwhile, just not very good. They have they're really good at some little things like running the ball. They know how to run the ball, but their defense is not remotely as good as it was last year, and Brissett is just simply not good. They're still waiting on Watson. He's been practicing with them, but Watson is not eligible to return yet. I think it was a 12-game suspension, so he should be eligible week 13 or week 14, I think. But regardless, the Bills are obviously going to be really motivated after somehow losing that game last week. And I know it's not technically in Buffalo anymore, but the Bills should be able to take care of business here. Give me Buffalo winning this game, guys, 31-20. Next game, guys, we have the 5-5 Commanders at the 1-7-1 Texans. So the Commanders are feeling really, really good after ending the Eagles' undefeated streak. There are no longer any undefeated teams left. The Commanders ended that with a win over the Eagles on Monday night, so they're feeling good about that. The Texans, meanwhile, they suck. I mean, what's new? 1-7-1. Obviously not a good football team. No surprise. They weren't supposed to be good, but they just have a very, very lack of talent. They have some guys like Davis Mills, I guess, has potential. Brandon Cooks, a very reliable veteran, but he doesn't even want to be there. He wanted to get traded, but he didn't. The Commanders, I know they're on the road, but I also think they got Chase Young back. While he's obviously been a disappointment so far, he's still a piece. The defense is playing better, I think. The offense is playing better. Heineke has really been settling down, I think. McLaurin, there's obviously were rumors that he wanted out. Maybe he still does, but he's playing through anyway, and he's having quite a nice year. The Commanders know they need to stay ahead of the pace, and that division, it's obviously way better this year than usual, but they still could get in. Of course, the Eagles and then the Cowboys are good, and the Giants are good. That division, it's funny because it used to be like the worst in football. It was so laughably bad. This year, it's like one of the best divisions in football. It's quite good, in fact. But anyways, the Commanders know that they still got a shot, so they're going to be playing their hearts out, and I think they'll be able to get this win to improve to over 500. So give me the Commanders winning this game, guys. 34-17. Next game, guys, we have the 8-1 Colts at the 4-5-1. Or excuse me, the 8-1 Eagles at the 4-5-1 Colts. So the Eagles, of course, no longer undefeated. They suffered their first loss of the season against the Commanders, as I said, last Monday. The Colts, meanwhile, have been very back and forth. Definitely more bad than good. I don't even know who they played last, but they're having a lot of injury issues. I know Jonathan Taylor has been in and out with ankle injuries, and I think Matt Ryan is now back at quarterback. The Colts moved on from Frank Reich as head coach, and now I forget who they even have as their head coach now. But regardless, I think Matt Ryan is quarterback now. The defense is, again, when healthy, it's pretty good, but it hasn't been healthy. Shaquille Leonard has been dealing with injuries, as has Kenny Moore in the secondary. So the Colts obviously have not been totally healthy all year, but I still think they're underperforming a little bit. They really showed promise last year where they flashed at the end, but then at the very end, they totally sold to the Jaguars. So obviously that wasn't good. But the Colts, I think, are a very mediocre team. I don't think they're that good. The Eagles should be pretty motivated after losing their first game in the season on Monday. Then they'll be able to get back into the win column here. So give me the Eagles winning this game, 31-17. Next game, guys, we have the 6-3 Jets at the 5-4 Patriots. This should be a really good game. AFC East has not been great the past couple years, but it's much better this year. And the Jets are the big surprise. So I actually think the Jets are a good all-around team. Their offensive line is not very good, but their running backs are good. I really like Michael Carter. I think he's quite good. I really like that young receiving core. While it is somewhat inexperienced, it's got so much potential. Denzel Mims, I know there's rumors that he wants out, but he's still playing through. Garrett Wilson, young star who has a lot of potential. I don't even know if Corey Davis is still there, but their receivers have a lot of potential, and their defense, again, it's very young, so inexperienced, but it's getting better. I think they're starting to gel as a team, and I think that defense down the road could be quite good. However, I think their weakness is their quarterback. I don't think Zach Wilson's very good, but also Zach Wilson really struggles against the Patriots. The Patriots seem to have Zach Wilson's number for some reason. And then for New England, they've been back and forth this year. I think they're a pretty average team, but I think I'm definitely going to get the extra New England on this one because for some reason, the Jets just cannot seem to beat the Patriots, especially just Zach Wilson cannot seem to beat the Patriots. He can't figure out that defense. And the Patriots already beat the Jets in New York. Now the Jets have to go to New England and win. doubt that's going to happen. So give me the Patriots winning this game, guys. 27-14. Next game, guys, we have the 3-6 Rams at the 3-7 Saints. So two teams I think who have definitely underperformed this year. Both teams have had injury issues, especially the Saints. They seem to always get hit hard by injuries. Jameis Winston, of course, Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas. So they're obviously struggling. The Rams, I think, have definitely been the bigger disappointment this year. I mean, after winning the Super Bowl last year, they have been just below mediocre. They've been actually pretty bad. With it being in New Orleans, I don't know. I mean, this is probably a game where at the beginning of the season you think, oh, this is going to be a good game, but I mean, it's really just not a game anybody really cares about. I guess it's in New Orleans, but I think I'm going to go with the Rams just for the fun of it. So give me the Rams winning this game, 27-21. Next game, guys, we have the 3-6 Lions at the 7-2 Giants. So the Lions are feeling pretty good after that little come-from-behind win against Chicago last week. Granted, it was Chicago, but a win is a win. The Giants, meanwhile, man, big surprise this year. 7-2. They're playing good football. I do think... I'm not going to say they're totally a fluke. I don't think they're that good, though. I think they've kind of had an easy schedule, and all of their wins have been close wins, which is fine. It's nice to see that they can close games out, but it's not like they have been dominating, and I think that I doubt they're going to go far in the playoffs. But we'll see. In 7-2, man, that is very respectable. They're also at home. Giants play a lot better at home than on the road, especially Daniel Jones. The Lions kind of suck. I mean, yes, they won last week, but they're still not a good football team. The Giants know they are in a very tough division. They need to keep winning to stay ahead. Or actually, they're not ahead, but to stay in it, I should say. With it being in New York, the Giants should win this game pretty easily. Give me the Giants winning this game, guys. Let's go with the Giants, 31-13. Now we're moving into our later games, guys. We have the 2-7 Raiders at the 3-6 Broncos. So the Raiders, obviously the biggest disappointment of the year, no question. Josh McDaniels as a head coach has just not been doing his job. The Raiders have not been doing well at all. Derek Carr having his worst year of his career. Adams very, very frustrated. It's been shown time and time again. And then Darren Waller, of course, in and out. He's been dealing with some injuries. The Broncos, meanwhile, I thought that the first half of last week against Tennessee, I thought they were really doing their thing. Wilson was playing pretty well. He was taking care of the football. Their defense was playing really well. But then in the second half, just things fell apart. The defense in general played okay. I mean, the Titans only scored 17 points. So the defense played okay. But then the offense, after a nice little start, just went silent. The offense could not get anything going in the second half. And I'm telling you, man, Russell Wilson, just mega disappointment this year. I don't know what's going on. Really, you could say that this is the battle of the two most disappointing quarterbacks this season. I think both, at least for myself, I was expecting both to have big years. It has not happened at all. But anyways, with it being in Denver, the Broncos, that AFC West division, besides the Chiefs, it is open. Okay, the Chargers are a very beatable team. They are coming off a loss. So the Broncos know that if they could win this game and they can get some help, they still could get second place in the division and perhaps sneak into a wild card spot. It's not out of the question. So with it being in Denver, give me the Broncos winning this game, guys. 27-24. Should be a good game, though. Next game, guys, we have the 6-3 Cowboys at the 8-1 Vikings. So the Cowboys have generally been, having a good year. Again, I still don't think that they're going to go anywhere in the playoffs because I am not a believer in Dak Prescott. I've been saying that for a while. Great guy, decent quarterback, but he just cannot win in the playoffs. And I really don't think he's that good. I think he's very overrated. And, I said the last game is the battle of the two most disappointing quarterbacks. I think this game is the battle of the two most overrated quarterbacks. I think Cousins for the Vikings, very, very overrated. I think he's kind of getting carried right now. Yes, I know his stats stand out, but he just has an unbelievable receiving core, and he's got a guy who just made one of the greatest catches of all time look so easy. And let's be honest, they absolutely should have lost that game. Cousins, all he had to do was sneak like an inch to get in the end zone, and he couldn't even do it. Vikings only won that game because Josh Allen fumbled at the goal line. So, I don't mean to diss him too much, but I am not a Kirk Cousins fan at all. I think he's very average. But anyways, for the Vikings team as a whole, they are playing very well right now. I mean, the offense has been clicking on all cylinders. Justin Jefferson, arguably making a case for the best wide receiver in the league, if not definitely top 3 and right up there. Adam Thielen, of course. Dalvin Cook is having a very good year when he's healthy. And then the defense, has not been great. They do let up a lot of big plays, but it's still decent. It's in Minnesota. The Vikings are feeling really good after that crazy win against Buffalo last week. So give me the Vikings winning this game, guys. Again, it should be close, but I'm going to go with Minnesota 31-27. Next game, guys, we have the 5-4 Bengals at the 3-6 Steelers. This should be a really good game. I'm really looking forward to watching this game because, of course, Ravens play early, so I can watch this AFC North game after, and big implications for the Ravens. So, of course, the first meeting, week 1, the Steelers pulled off the upset over Cincinnati and played very well defensively. Burrow threw, 4 picks, was it? And the Steelers now, the Steelers, that game, were actually somewhat healthy, and I think Watt and Fitzpatrick were playing. But then, of course, for the past several weeks, they haven't been healthy. Fitzpatrick has been dealing with something, and then, of course, T.J. Watt has been out for several weeks. But now T.J. Watt's back. With that defense back and healthy, the pass rush is back with Cameron Hayward, Alex Highsmith, and, of course, T.J. Watt. Minka Fitzpatrick is back. So I do not think the Bengals are going to skate away easily with a win here. I don't. The Steelers almost always play rivals tough anyways, so I definitely think this is going to be a close game. I think there's going to be turnovers. I think Burrow will throw at least 1 interception, and I definitely think Pickett will turn the ball over once or twice too. It's in Pittsburgh. The Steelers play much better at home than on the road. I am really tempted to go with Pittsburgh here. I really am. But I'm going to have to go with the extra Cincinnati. I cannot trust Kenny Pickett to pull out a win in a big game. I think the Steelers, if they're going to win this game, they're going to have to rely on their defense to be absolutely incredible, which it could be, but I don't think it's going to be enough to get them a win. It's going to be close. I think it's going to be low scoring, but give me the Bengals pulling this one out 21-17. Next game, guys, this is our Sunday Night Football game. We have the 7-2 Chiefs at the 5-4 Chargers. So the Chiefs obviously have had, when it comes to their wins, some of their wins, they look dominant, like elite. Then the other wins, they've kind of been and they have been obviously disappointed that it was that close. But they're still sitting there at 7-2 in sole possession of first place in the AFC West, so they got to feel good about that. The Chargers, meanwhile, another year where they just underperform. I've been saying it every year. Every year, people like to hype up the Chargers and tell me how great they're going to be, and I'm always just like, I will believe it when I see it, because the Chargers always seem to underperform. Herbert underperforms. I don't think they're well coached. I don't think Brandon Staley is a great all-around coach. He's a good offensive mind, but I don't think he's a great all-around coach, and he makes a lot of very questionable decisions. So anyways, it's in LA, which helps. Chiefs-Chargers games in LA are almost always really close as well. So I could see this game being close. I think it's going to be high scoring. I don't know what the Chargers receiver status is. Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, I think, were both out last week. I don't know if they're back this week or not. But regardless if they are or not, I think the Chiefs will get this win. Chiefs-Chargers games are generally close, but almost always the Chiefs pull it out in the end. There have been some exceptions, but I'm going to go with the Chiefs here. They're playing well right now. The Chargers are coming off a pretty bad loss. So give me the Chiefs winning this game, guys. 34-27. Okay, guys, this is our last game, Monday Night Football. We have the 5-4 49ers at the 4-6 Cardinals. So the Niners, a very scrappy team. That's the scrappy team this year. They're not great some weeks, but they always find a way to just stay in there and stay in the playoff picture. Cardinals, meanwhile, very, very much underperforming this year. Kyler Murray has been struggling big time. Hopkins, he and Hopkins just really not on the same page. But then I saw something about Marquise Brown, returning to practice. So I don't know if Marquise Brown is back or not, but the fact that he's back at practice would definitely be a good indicator. I don't know if he's playing in this game, but I do definitely think Marquise Brown coming back will help. We haven't really seen he and Hopkins. In fact, I don't think we've seen he and Hopkins play at all yet, because Hopkins was suspended for the first 6 games, and then I think Brown got hurt week 4 or 5, so I don't think that they play together yet. So now this could be the first week that they do play together. So that wide receiver duo could be pretty dangerous. It may take them a bit to get it going, but that could be something to watch. But at the same time, the Cardinals have flaws elsewhere. Murray, of course, been always inconsistent, and the defense is not very good either. The Niners know how to run the ball. They know how to take control of the game. They're finally at least somewhat healthy. McCaffrey, Kittle, Garoppolo, Samuel, who of course is having a down year, but he's still there, and he's still someone you have the game plan for. So I think the Niners are going to get this win, guys. I like the way they're playing right now. I think that they know how to take over a game. So it's, despite it being in Arizona, I think the Niners will pull this one out. Let's go with San Francisco, 24-17. And guys, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you are new. And I am out. Have a great night. Thank you so much for watching. Go Ravens, and I will see you tomorrow after the Ravens game.